Hello, hello, hello. Oh, hold on 1 second. All right. How are you, all seven of you? Hi, Heather. How are you, sweetheart? What's going on? Just you and me, kiddo? How are those animals doing? I love it when you post those big cats. It's funny, I'm not a cat person, but the big cats, I love them. They're beautiful. Hello, Twisted Tea. Going to sleep so I won't monopolize. Oh, you don't monopolize. Don't worry about it. I actually enjoy the interaction. Um, wow, 7 people, which means 5 are in the bushes. And I thought I was going to be running late. So, what's going on, guys? Maybe we'll chit chat. All of a sudden, I get the hiccups now. Let me do a posting real quick. Um, they are doing good. We did have a cheetah male that was lost to law, which was sad. His brother's still here. Well, isn't that the way it goes in nature, though, Heather? I mean, it's sad, but hey, Kathy, how are you, sweetheart? Give me 1 second. So we have some Nancy Guthrie updates. There was a little bit of action the past couple days. And I have reached out to the other people covering this, the people that are actually there. I wanted to see if they would let me use some of their clips, but I haven't heard back from them. So I have a feeling they're ignoring me. They probably don't want to be rude and say no, but on the other hand, why would they let somebody else use their footage, right? Go figure. So yesterday, there was an incident where a stranger pulled up, and then it appears that Annie pulled into the garage. They shut the door, opened the door. Annie pulled out, and her brother Cam pulled out in Nancy's car. They took off in 2 different directions, met up at one house, and then Nancy's car ended up back at Annie's house. So who knows what that was about? And that could have been anything. I mean, maybe they need it. Maybe they need to use it while the police are putting Annie's car back together. Who knows? Um, Today was pretty interesting. Um, and I hashtag there's 2 main people that I've been watching that have been covering the Nancy Guthrie case, only because they do like consistent daily footage and they're the ones that have been there all day long. If it's JLR says anyone could use this stuff, you can even live stream it. Oh, really? Because he is one of them. So maybe, well, I still rather want to get his permission. But he is one that I emailed. Now listen, JLR has a very unique past. Um, when it comes like when you read up on his past, I've questioned myself, do I really want to give this guy any attention at all? But let me tell you something. After watching it, like whatever he did in his past, um, whatever he did in his past, I've been watching him work with these other live streamers, Twisted Tea, and they have all been helping each other out. He's been helping them out. They've been helping him out. And it's really neat to see. I will say this. It really is neat to see that they're all doing their own lives, they're all doing their own shows, but they're all helping each other out too. And they're not losing subs, they're gaining subs from each other. Yeah, I think he had that as well. But whatever he's dealt with in his past, Twisted Tea, he seems to be okay now. Hey, Erica Suter, how are you, sweetheart? Yeah, whatever JLR dealt with in his past, he seems to be doing really good lately. Yeah, Dad's Gone Live. He's one of the other ones I watch because he'll take over the night shift. Because JLR will start in the morning and carry on until the evening, and then Dad's Gone Live takes over at night. For those of you just coming in, please hit the like button. Thank you. Hey, Carol, how are you, sweetheart? So then today, there's another guy. I don't think he's a new guy, but I just heard of him today. Have you guys heard of Exploring with Jim? Exploring with Jim, he pulled up on the scene today, and he pulls up with his truck and his motorcycle in the back of his truck. And they have these things out there, they're called washes. It's kind of like basically where the water runs off. Like we use retention ponds here. Like if they build a development, they put a retention pond in. But out there, I guess the way they build, they kind of do like it's called a natural like wash. And so this gym guy goes out there's a wash like right down the hill, I guess from Annie and Tommaso's. And now it looks like what he found. He found a lot of random stuff down there, like a baby stroller, like kind of like people just kind of either dump stuff off or at some point might have been a homeless encampment. But he did find something interesting. He found a bed sheet. He found a pair of pants and then a knee brace. So I guess he called the authorities. Now I started watching that. When I stopped watching, he was still waiting for the authorities. And then I ended up switching over. I don't know. I wanted to sneak over and see what Eric had to say. So I was watching Eric's for a little while. But by the time, and then I ended up getting busy at work. Never fails. They want me to work, right? So by the time I got back to Exploring with Jim, he was off the air. Now, I did try to skim through it to see if the authorities showed up, but apparently he must have cut it off before they showed up, because I didn't get to see what came in that one. Hello, Edwin. Blessings. Blessings, Edwin. Thank you. However, back to Dad's Gone Live. He actually came on a little early today. He's been going out a little bit earlier in the afternoon to do some drive arounds. And he was out driving around, and he's got a pickup truck. So as he was driving around, he looked over the one berm, and on the other side of it, he found it looked like a shallow grave with a cross on it. And there were sheets like hanging out from where they put the dirt back over it. Now, the funny thing that struck me was if somebody's going to hide a body, they're not going to put a cross on it, right? So, I mean, that's just my thought. But Dad's Gone Live did end up calling the authorities. He was like, I don't know what to do here, blah, blah, blah. the Tucson police, because he was in Tucson, they came out and they seem a lot nicer than the sheriff's department. But he was filming it from he was out with the police. The camera was in the truck, so you couldn't hear what they were saying outside the truck, but you could see what was going on. The police actually dug it up. It wasn't Nancy, thankfully. Unfortunately, somebody, I guess, decided to bury their dog that passed away. But at least people are out there looking. Hi, Christine. How are you? You know, it might have been a couple of nothings that were found today, but people were at least out there looking. Oh, they didn't come for Adventures with Jim? No. They did show up for Dad's Gone Live, though, because that I did see. And that I was also watching. I don't know if Jeff's listening. Podcast Warehouse. I was cheating on you while I was moderating for you tonight, Jeff, just so you know. That I was watching was Dad's Gone Live. And the police, you know, they said it was a dog, and unfortunately. But it just means that people at least are still out there looking. The sad thing in these cases are eventually the last few standing that are still looking, eventually they're going to end up moving on if something doesn't happen. And that happens with most cases. You know, cases go cold. Give me 1 second here. My StreamYard and my YouTube aren't syncing up. This is odd. So unfortunately, these cases go cold. In fact, to be honest, the only reason why most of us know as much as we do about it is because Nancy's mom is a celebrity. So that's about what the action was going on today. Now, I watched Brian Enton a little bit, but he doesn't really do a lot of lives. Because I guess he works for News Nation as well. So, but on his channel, he will do pop-up pre-records or shows. So I watched Brian Enton a little bit too. So what else did I want to talk about? I wanted to heckle Jeff, but apparently he's not in the chat. No. I need to blackmail that man. The sheriff turned down or didn't respond to United Cajun Navy and Texas EquiSearch. They wanted to help search both. Are good. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I knew about that. That was even a while back. He turned them down. Now it's interesting. I heard a theory on that. The theory was that if the sheriff is turning people down, it means they're probably a little closer to a suspect than we realize. But I don't think that's the case here. I think sheriff is just, I don't know what to think of him. Now this is the hard part for me. See, I don't know what to think in this case. And the reason why it's especially hard for me is because I am an empath, but it doesn't work like people think. Like, you know, I'm not one of those crazy people that goes, well, you're going to find her here and you're going to find her there and blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, I get feelings. I get vibrations. The thing is, though, I try to go against that sometimes because nothing in this case makes sense. I think the sheriff has a big head and wants any and all credit. Right. And apparently, too, I think his brother just passed away not too long ago, the sheriff's brother. Um, and so he then, recently he came out and said, well, my brother passed away. My head hasn't been in the game. Well, then you should have, like, what do they call it? You recuse yourself from the game or you exclude yourself. You should step back. Um, there was another theory that people were saying, just in case it might have been related to Savannah's work with Epstein. Maybe Nanos didn't trust the feds, which could be true, but now we don't trust Nanos either. So, and then it came out, like I said, I just heard the other day that it came out that apparently there had been some break in. Well, like kids would knock on the door and try to break in, like bust in on elderly couples in the area and rob them. And that was like within a month prior. And Nanos didn't think to tell the FBI about this. Now, listen, he might not have thought it had anything to do with it, and maybe it doesn't. But I'll tell you, I'm not a police officer. I, you know, but I would like to think if I were a police officer and I'm dealing with the feds and I've got this big, huge case that nobody can solve, don't you think right off the bat you would go, oh, by the way, last month there were a string of break-ins in the area? Like, when. Hi, Jane Creek. How are you? The sheriff is a Barney Fife. I have been following the case on television over 40 days. He did. You're absolutely right, Edwin. You're absolutely right. He is a Barney Fife. I truly believe that. Um, anyway, what was I gonna say? Let me get out my notebook. Kathy, I have my notebook. Hear it? Hear the pages? Here, look. Let me flip through the pages. Oh, well, it doesn't make the same noise. This is my other notebook. I actually have two notebooks, Kathy. One for my pre-record shows that I'm working on, my series that I'm working on. And then I have one that I just jot down notes that I want to remember for my lives. Oh, they absolutely did screw up from the beginning. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Police sheriffs wonder why the feds at times look down on them like they have no clue. This instance shows why. Well, exactly. Why wouldn't Nanos have said, oh, by the way, about a month ago, there was a string of robberies like down the street. I also, here's the problem with cases like this, though. They found a glove 2 miles away on the ground. So, they traced it, turned out to be nothing. They tracked the DNA on it, turned out to be nothing, belonged to a restaurant worker. That had nothing to do with the case. Now you have people finding clothing and knee braces in washes where it looks like a lot of people dump their garbage, I don't want to say it's a waste of time because, the problem is if you don't look into it, you'll never know if it was a clue or not. But if you look into every single thing, you're going to waste time, you're going to waste money. And you're not going to find the people. So anyway, back to the empath thing. I'm really trying to keep an open mind about this. Because first of all, like I said, there's so many theories. You have, Savannah interviewed Epstein. Was it Savannah's husband used to work for the Clintons. There's all these theories involved. Was it random? Of course it could have been random. It could have been any one of those things. It could have been tied to Savannah. It could have been random. I feel my instinct tells me, and again, like I said, I'm not like one of these wackadoodles that I'm going to say, oh, you're going to find her under a bridge near the river, around purple flowers, which was said, by the way, not by me. And listen, I'm not mocking those people, but you want to be responsible with things that you say, even if you know for a fact that you're an empath or a psychic or whatever. You still need to be responsible. Listen, I have a gut feeling myself. But I don't even know if I want. Well, I'll share it, I guess. It's not, worst case scenario, I'm wrong, correct? I think it was planned. I think it was somebody that knows the family, close to the family. Not necessarily, may or may not be family, but whoever it was, they don't necessarily have to be family, but somebody close enough to that family that knew how to access that house. And if they were, but here's my problem with that theory. If they were watching the house that closely, if it could, I don't think it would have been a burglary gone wrong. And I'll tell you why. Because this is just my gut feeling. If they were watching the house that closely, Nancy went to dinner with her family. Her family dropped her off at 9:45. Why would they wait until she's home to enter the house? If their pure motive was only robbery, they would have seen that she left earlier. If they were sitting on that house, they would have seen that she left earlier. And they would have broken in and robbed the place while she was gone. Robbery and robbery while nobody's home and robbery while somebody's home are two different crimes. I think it was someone who knew her and it went wrong. Yeah. I think it was more than that, though, Kathy. I think it was planned. I really do. Because these people knew when she was going to be home. And that's why I'm saying I don't necessarily think it had anything to do with a robbery. Purely because a robber's going to sit on that house and they're going to know when she's gone, when she comes and goes. Why would they wait until she comes back home to enter the house? So that, to me, puts robbery out the door. The reason why I don't necessarily think it was like a spontaneous argument. Well, how do you explain they did catch a perpetrator checking out the house prior via the cameras, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure it could be coincidence. Maybe somebody was checking her out and then a personal incident came up spontaneously, maybe, but I think whatever this was about, it was pre-planned. But I don't even necessarily think I think you're right that it went wrong in the fact that she wasn't supposed to pass away. I think it was either meant to just scare her, or maybe it was just like a kidnapping type ransom type thing that went wrong. Um, or, something like that. But let me get past that. I think when they do find her, and, Lexi from Melty's channel and I were discussing it last night, and she's very correct, because she lives out there. There is a vast amount of desert, but you don't have to go that far from Tucson to hit the desert. I think they're going to find her within a 30-mile radius, to be honest with you. Because I think you're correct in the fact, Kathy, that I don't think her passing away was meant to happen. I don't believe she left that house alive, though, either. I think they're going to find her close to the house. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and go, ooh, they're going to find her near water, or they're going to find her here or there, blah, blah, blah. I do think they're going to find her close to the house, though. I don't think it was random at all. I really do. I don't think it was like a random break-in, a random. I know there was one theory that there happened to be a felon or something that was going from Iowa to somewhere else and passed through there right at the same time. I don't think that's it, because this was definitely something that took, this wasn't a drifter just passing by either. She had heart issues, could have had a heart. Absolutely. She could have had a heart attack. And it's totally possible. Maybe. I don't know, because the blood, they found blood. But that doesn't mean she didn't have a heart attack either. It just means, I don't know, it makes me think there's other possibilities. I mean, I knew, actually, I felt in my heart early on, I didn't think they were going to find her alive. Please donate to Jesse, share, subscribe, and hit yes, guys. If you'd like to donate, please donate. But definitely hit the like button and subscribe. And if you could share the channel, that would be great. And for every donation I get, I will tell one of Jeff's dirty little secrets. I was going to try and blackmail him, but, he keeps telling his biggest secret over on Angels, so. But I have a few up my sleeve, Jeff. Jeff, you big stinky Mimi face. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna find her close to home. But yeah, guys, JLR is good to watch. He's there morning till evening. It's so funny too. I was watching. Yes, Jeff. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I was cheating on you tonight. I was skimming through Nancy Guthrie podcasts while I was moderating your show. I was so funny because all of a sudden you see this big, huge FedEx truck come down the road. And here it was a trucker that was going through the area, but he watches all these podcasts. So he dropped off like a bunch of waters, a bunch of Gatorade, like boxes of waters and Gatorades and chips and snacks for the guys. It was cute. Like I said, it was really interesting. For the shady past that some of these people have, they've all been working really well together. They've been so nice to each other, helping each other out. If she had a heart attack, she could have fallen, hit her head. Why they would panic and not call for help is absolutely. See, that's why I don't think it was. I think it was pre-planned. Um, because obviously now, Carol, you and I are rational people, though. That's the thing. You and I are rational. Um, if we're sitting there arguing with somebody we care about and they have a heart attack and hit their head and start bleeding, we don't care. We're going to pick up 911. Oh, we're going to pick up the phone, call 911. But somebody that was there for a nefarious reason to begin with isn't. And that's another reason why I feel it was definitely planned. They knew they were there doing dirty. Um, Not saying it was them that did it, but had someone involved. I honestly think the other daughter and her husband had something to do with it. Um, you know, I don't. I see everybody's point and I see why people would think that, but I'm not feeling it from that direction. Like, I'm just not, like, I mean, they kind of seem shady and shifty. Yeah. And I could see why they might have been suspect at first, but something's off about that theory too, Kat. Like, I can't put my finger on it. I think it was JLR that filmed some strange lady that walked up to Nancy's door, then walked away and got in a white SUV. I think it was JLR had followed her and asked questions, got no answer though. Yeah, I think it was JLR. I saw that too. Yeah, she walked up to the door and then walked away. Yeah, really weird. Um, Now, what I find interesting is there have been a lot of service people there, meaning, the lawn people have been there. Um, HVAC was there the other day. And then yesterday, I guess there was an electrical company there. Now, this is what I find interesting. The people in the chats are going, well, if she's not home, why are they calling these service people and blah? Well, look, she hasn't been home for a month. Um, it's getting to be hot as hell out there. First of all, we don't know if these services weren't pre-planned before she even went missing. You still have to maintain the house even if she's not living there. In fact, the fact that somebody's not there would be all the more reason to make sure you get your scheduled maintenances and have the heating and electric and AC. Well, not heating out there for them, but the AC. Yeah, the electric company was there yesterday, and the HVAC people were there, I think, the day before. Um, See, that to me isn't odd. That's a 4,000 square foot house. Now, it's funny because I heard Silo describing it. He's like, "Oh, it looks like a warehouse. It looks weird." And well, and I might be a little off here, but a lot of those homes don't have basements, so they don't have real deep foundations. They also have vast amounts of property. So a lot of the time, and plus, when you have a second level on a house, heat's going to get trapped in the house on that second level. So if you have a lot of property and a lot of money, you kind of build your 4,000 square foot house out, not up. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's my thinking. Um, I didn't think the house was ugly. I mean, a little odd. It's not something I'm used to. But if you look at the house at the surface level, very beautiful brick home. It only looks odd because it's one, it's not like your basic ranch like we have out here. It's a huge, sprawling one level house, one floor house. There's also a pool house. Um, but I find it odd at what people are picking at. Like I said, like people are going, well, she's out there. Why do they have the electric company there? And well, duh, these are like $1 million homes. You still get them maintained. You still have the lawn care company come. Uh, if the electric needs to be looked at or the AC might be broken, you still maintain it and get it fixed. The home we owned was built out, not up. Right, right. It all just depends on the property you have, how your house is built, the style of house that you want, you know. But like I said, I just found it funny some of the theories and guys, I feel like she's going to be found. I don't know when though. I feel like she will be found. I just don't know when. Um they're going to find her close by. Like I said, I couldn't tell you anything specific. I just got to go by what I feel. Um but I feel like it was local at meaning it was close to the family. Like I said, whether it was a family member or not, I don't that I can't say. It was definitely somebody that knew the family or knew her at least. I don't think it was random. I think it was planned. The hell? I don't know. I just I do think this case will fade before it gets solved. I think it'll get solved, but I think it's going to fade before it gets solved. But I'm kind of on the fence. I really like that JLR and Dad's Gone Live, and they're all there, and they're not giving up. They are not giving up. Oh, Kathy, thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy. Um, I like the fact that they're sticking it out, but part of me wonders, um, maybe it should go quiet, and the people that did this will screw up and start running their mouth too. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like that's how it's going to get solved. Um, I think that's how it's going to get solved. Is I think it does need to quiet down a little bit. Kind of let things kind of maybe let people think it's been forgotten about or moved on from. That's kind of why I'm on the fence about these YouTubers. I mean, some of them do great work. Some of them are a pain in the butt. Some of them, I don't know what their issue is. The guys that are there now, though, they're sticking it out. They're really seem to be decent guys. Um, like I said, as far as JLR, I know he's got, and I'm only saying this to you guys because you guys all know who and what we deal with on YouTube, right? The people that we deal with, right? And their backgrounds and um as far as JLR goes, yeah, he's got some. Listen, I'm gonna be straight up. He's got some fraudulent crap, and he did 10 years for wire fraud. Well, almost 10 years. Um, and he has he sued so many people that he's not allowed to sue people anymore. Um, but I think whatever he went through or whatever he was going through at that time, as far as this is concerned, I've been impressed. You know, he's been, you know, they've all been working together. They've all been helping each other. Like, unlike on here where people are out to get each other, they're all helping each other. They're all telling each other to go to each other's lives, and they're like freaking door dashing them food, and you know, and if one of them gets food, they share it with the rest. It's just an amazing thing. Um, and I've said this before too. I knew early on that this case will end up solving a lot of others, meaning, um, it is the desert. You're going to find some bodies. Um, they might not find Nancy right away, but there's at least, I think, well, they up to 3 or 4 missing people they've found already because of this. And it's sad. Um, but sometimes that happens. You know, you look for one missing person and you find 3 or 4. Not the one you're looking for. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just saying that unfortunately that's the way it happens. Um, but so who was it? Heather or Twisted Tea that said, what was it? Oh no, it was Christine that said the police never showed up for exploring with Jim. That's interesting. They did show up for Dad's Going Live though. Um, there were a few that tried to block other YouTubers from being close to Nancy's house. I think Dad's Going Live and maybe pretty much told them off and started filming. Yeah, yeah, I know. You know what? That might have been what was going on the other day. Like I said, I have this on like throughout the day. So sometimes I get distracted, and if I'm at work, I can't pay attention to exactly what's going on at the moment. But the one day I think JLR was having a count, like a film off with the one guy. Like the one guy was being a jerk, so he just sat there and kept his camera on him. Finding other people will hopefully, yeah, that's what I mean, Kathy. Like, if nothing else, right now, anyway, for nothing else, at least other people may get closure. Um, everything happens for a reason. And you might not know why at the time. And sometimes it's minutes, days, weeks, years, even. But you'll look back and go, okay, that's why that happened. So that this could happen and that could happen, and we could get to where we're at now. So yeah, definitely hope those families get closure. And it's kind of bittersweet in a way because Nancy's mom, even though what's going on for her, with her is incredibly sad. She's in a way, she's giving a voice to other people that didn't necessarily have a voice, you know. Like I said earlier, we wouldn't even really know about this case if Nancy wasn't Savannah's mother. So sometimes, these situations give a voice to those that don't have one. I kind of have a feeling, though, in the exploring with Jim, that wash, I have a feeling that area was probably already checked out. The reason being, so how close it was to, first of all, it is a mapped wash, what they call a wash. Like I said, we call them retention ponds around here. Or, you know, the difference is around there, it's where the water naturally rushes off to the side. Um, as close as it was to Annie and Tommaso's house, they keep calling Tommaso Tomato. I'm sorry. I don't want to call him Tomato, but it is kind of funny. Um, I have a feeling that the police had already checked that area. So maybe that's why they didn't show up for exploring with Jim. But that is another channel. Like I said, though, I like JLR and Dad's Gone Live because they, between the both of them, they have pretty much have like 20-hour coverage a day. JLR's there in the morning until the evening. Uh, Dad's Gone Live comes out late afternoon, goes well into the midnight. Well, for us it's past. He might cut off at midnight, but it's like 3 a.m. here. And Dad's Gone Live. He's the one that got together that vigil the other week, the prayer vigil for Nancy. And he went out and he bought all of those battery operated candles. He is some nights like I think he does. Well, every time I catch him come on, he comes on at a different time. But he comes on, I want to say in the afternoon, and he's done after I say our midnight because he comes on in the afternoon for us, and then he's off around 3 a.m. for us. But he still has some of those battery candles left. So every show that he does, he takes the names out of chats, like, and fills 2 candles with people's names from his chat to put at the memorial. It's really neat. I keep trying to get him to do the TreeHouse community to pick, because I don't want him to do just Jesse, because I think it'd be nice if he put TreeHouse community, so it kind of be like from all of us, It's nice to see the locals to go out and find JLR to bring in food and stuff, especially the older women. Well, Twisted Tea, did you see that FedEx truck that swung by about like maybe an hour ago? I guess it's a guy and his wife. They're hauling a FedEx trailer across country, tractor trailer, and they were on their way through, so they wanted to stop by, pay respect, and they dropped off like waters and teas and Gatorade and snacks for JLR and everyone. It was really neat. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, JLR, he's sitting there on the phone with somebody. He goes, "Oh, hold on. There's this huge FedEx truck, like huge FedEx tractor trailer." Now, obviously, it wasn't the stuff in the trailer that was for them, but he pulled out like cases of water and Gatorade and snacks for the guys from the cab. I guess as they were passing through, they picked up a few cases of stuff and wanted to drop it off. I think it's really nice and sweet and unique how they're all working together. That's what I do like that. Yeah, it shows me that there is some good in these YouTube people. You know what I mean? Not all YouTubers are bad. Um, Now I don't know exactly. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, the day after the vigil. Dad's Gone Live went home, but then ended up coming back like a day later, and he's been here. He said he'll be out. He could be out there until at least the 19th, but he's got to go home. It's his daughter's birthday. He said, depending on what's going on after that, he might even come back. I don't know how much longer JLR will be out there. Um, it's interesting too. Brian Enton went in and was asking about the search warrants because apparently they had search warrants on somebody. So, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about, or anybody else have any thoughts on this? And yet, Carol, if you're listening, your problem is you're being too rational. Of course, anybody in their right mind or wasn't in the middle of committing a crime, if, you know, even if it was an argument and Nancy got hurt, they'd still call the police. Which is why I don't think it was like some spontaneous argument with a family member. I really don't. I know that's because I actually think of all scenarios. Yeah, me too. It's weird. It's weird. But see, I'm trying to fight my opinion on it. Like my gut spidey sense. That's what I call my psychic shit, spidey senses. And I'm not even, guys, when I say I'm a psychic, I'm not even saying I'm all that great at it. Um, I've just been known to, um, I don't even want to say predict things. It's more, I kind of feel like I'm more telepathic than anything. Like somebody will tell me something, like, I can't tell you how many times. Like, for an example, the phone will ring. When I was younger, I would do it to my mom all the time. Like, well, now, but whenever it happened, the phone would ring. I'd be like, "Mom, it's not good news." Or, um, and this is something. My favorite grandma, my grandma Betty, passed away when I was 12. Now we had gone to visit her the week before Thanksgiving, and we went to visit her the week before Thanksgiving, and we came back, and I want to say it was the Friday, like the next day after Thanksgiving. Obviously, as kids, we were home from school because it was the day after Thanksgiving. And we're sitting there watching TV. I was laying down on the floor, like hands up under my chin, elbows on the floor, laying down on the floor, watching TV. The phone rang. I looked right at my mom. I said, "It's Grandma Betty. I'm telling you right now, Mom." And I was 12. "It's Grandma Betty." She's like, "Oh, whatever." Answers the phone. Sure enough, my Grandma Betty had passed away. I had a situation this summer. We had a coworker. He was older. and he had retired about a year and a half ago. And I'm pulling into the gate at my apartment. I was coming home from work, and I'm pulling into the gate at my apartment. And I don't know what happened, but I looked at the clock. It was like 7 o'clock at night. For some reason, I always look at the clock when these things happen. And all of a sudden, I get this thought in my head. I wonder if so-and-so has been back to visit corporate office lately. And I thought, because I was actually going to call one of my coworkers, and then something happened, and I ended up not calling her. But the next morning, and I want to say it was like 7:05 or 7:06 that I looked at the clock that night and thought, oh, I wonder if so-and-so has been by to visit corporate office lately. And the next morning at work, we get an email that, from corporate office, we're sorry to inform everyone, but so-and-so passed away at 7:01 p.m. last night. Maybe you can give me a reading. Oh, Kathy, sweetie. Listen, that's one thing I won't do. I won't do. I don't necessarily do readings. I'll do tarot once in a while, but I won't do it on people I know. And I'll tell you why I don't do that on people that I know. And not that you and I have ever met personally, or I know enough about you that I can't trust that whatever I tell you, is it something you've said before, or am I really reading it? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I try not to do people I know. Absolutely not. um, I've had times where me, I'll call somebody up out of the blue, and I'll be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they'll say, "Oh, either this happened." It's not always death. It's not always death, but a lot of times it is. But there have been times where I've called people up and go, "Hey," like out of the blue, like all of a sudden, out of the blue, I'll be like, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh, so and so passed away," or "This happened, that happened." And I know a lot of it could be coincidence, but it happens too much. It happens too much. Um, but I'll tell you what I do, Kathy, for fun sometimes. I'll tell you what I do for fun when the haters come at me. I pull out my tarot cards and start playing poker with them. Nah. Nah, I don't disrespect my cards like that. I need like that. I need like that. So what else is new, guys? Is anybody else that we know coming on tonight, or Jesse, have you followed any of Gypsy Rose Blanchard since she was released from prison in 2023? Her stories have now basically changed. I can't show for support for her. You know what, Heather? I gotta be honest with you. I never really got into that case anyway. That case, just there was something about it. I'm like, I don't even like. It's really weird. Like, I'll get a weird vibe sometimes. And I'll be like, no, I don't even want to bother. I don't know if that's my brain's way of protecting me from getting too, um, well, I don't want to say emotionally, but too thoughtfully invested in somebody's story. Because there are some bad people out there. There are some bad, bad people out there. And let's face it, there's so many true crime stories now since the internet age. This isn't like back in the 80s when we started watching Unsolved Mysteries and we got our dose of three suspects a week. This is like three suspects an hour on a 24-hour news cycle anymore. Yeah. I got into that case just recently, wanted to see what was going on with her. Wow, is all I can say. Yeah, I mean, we get three stories an hour in a 24-hour news cycle nowadays. It's hard to keep up with all of them, to be honest with you. Um, I'm trying to work on. I found an interesting subject for my next Death Row series, um, which I found interesting. I'm trying, guys. Now, listen, guys. Women on death row. Like I said, there's only like 45 women on death row in America right now, currently on death row. Um, Now you got to understand. I want to be very, especially just starting out doing this series, and I'm not real good at editing and stuff like that. So I'm really amateur at it, but I'm trying to be choosy with my cases because some of these cases are really bad. Like some of them, I want to wait until I get comfortable doing it more until I even tackle those cases. And then there's some cases I might not even touch because I mean, you got to figure if they put a woman on death row, she did something really, 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 really bad. Yeah. But anyway, guys. All right. Well, it is 10:05, guys. We've been on for an hour. You guys have been a wonderful guys, I love you. I know, listen, I get picked on for my numbers, but I got to tell you guys, you're the numbers that matter to me because you guys are the ones that stop by and take the time to come in. You say hello. Even if you can't chat, most of you at least go, hey, I'm just wanted to say hi or whatever and let me know that and you guys always let me know that you're here. Um, I love any of my replay crew. I have been big into Summerwell's case since day one. So sad, little girl missing. No, it's not. You know what, Kathy? It doesn't even bother me. I just want you guys to know that I appreciate every single one of you. I do. I really do. Um, I literally get a smile on my face when Kathy pops in or Carol pops in or Angel or Heather, Kathy is right and I agree with her. Well, listen, like I said, it doesn't even bother me that they say that. I just want you guys to realize how much I do appreciate and care for you. And I know, you know what, guys, I know I do a lot of stupid shit. Um, that because I've had people say shit to me that like oh, well, you did this and it made you look shady. And that wasn't my intent at all. Like, I kind of get wrapped up in my own head and think, okay, I kind of assume that people don't pay attention to me. So I'm just going to do what I want anyway. And then I don't realize that, oh, wait a minute, they were paying attention to me and they do care about me. um, but, I do flaky shit and trust me, guys. If I didn't like you, I'd let you know. I'd tell you. I'm not even calculated enough to do shady shit. Like, my brain doesn't even comprehend it. They are, and so are you, Erica. So are you. But I admit sometimes I go look at their numbers. I may or may not take some screenshots. Their numbers aren't all that big, so why they would say anything is beyond me. Look, I don't. I'll tell you what. You want to know something, guys? Those guys care about my numbers more than I do. See, it's not about how many people are in my chat. It's about who's in my chat. Listen, all 20 of you that are here now, I'll take you guys all day long. I'll take the 20 of you guys all day long versus 200 idiots. Certain people are just butthurt. Yeah, I don't, would it be great? I got to be honest with you guys. So, when my numbers start hitting like 80 or 90, I got to be honest with you. I kind of like it better smaller like this because I can pay more attention to you guys. Hello, ladies. It's Big Balls Buick at your service. The best Buick ride in town. Hello, Tony Buick. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I kind of like being able to kind of custom tailor to the chat. I like a smaller setting. But anyway, guys, it is getting late. I have some research to do, and I still got to work tomorrow. Ugh. I was off yesterday, but that day got ruined because, oh my God, long story short, I think I told you guys I'd been like packing stuff up because my apartment was getting repainted and still kind of in the process of that, but oh, see, my fibro brain fog just kicked in. Durr. Anyway, so I had planned to yesterday. I was gonna go. I had to be here for the alarm company guy. Speaking of alarm companies, a couple weeks ago, my CO slash smoke detector went bad. It's a 5-year detector and this, that, and the other. It's been 6 years. I mean, I do the battery changes, but they do eventually go bad. And then I have 2 other smoke detectors in the apartment. I have 3 smoke detectors in a 400 square foot apartment, guys. It's kind of overkill, but there is a business downstairs. So anyway, but I had to be here to meet the alarm guy because my one smoke detector is tied into the alarm downstairs. So I had to be here so I could open up. Well, obviously, not only had to be here at the apartment, but I had to open up the office downstairs too to get in because that particular smoke detector, he had to enter the serial number in to the alarm system. Well, he was supposed to show up in the morning. And well, he said he was going to try and show up in the morning. I said, that's all right. I'll be around most of the day. But I was kind of hoping he would show up in the morning. I could go out, do my food shopping. take a nap, and then do a show. He calls me at 4:30 in the afternoon. Oh, I forgot I had a doctor's appointment 2 hours away. I'm on my way there now. So I was originally going to do this show last night. I went, screw it. By the time I get done with this guy, it's going to be 6 o'clock, whatever. So I scheduled the show for today at 7. And then Jeff decides he wants to go out at 7 today. So I'm like, which is fine. I don't mind switching it. It just kind of like, I kind of like to be done by 9 o'clock, not just starting. But anyway, guys, thank you all for stopping by. What's tomorrow? Okay, so we won't have another Angel show for 2 days yet. Okay, Angel's on Sunday. Guys, Jeff is on Saturday. I'll be on Saturday as well. Might come on tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll take tomorrow night off and just like keep working on my research. So, but I'll definitely be on Saturday around 7. Jeff will be on around 8:30, 8:45 on Saturday. Angel will be on Sunday. She's usually 9:15. So, guys, I love you all. Try to be kind. And I'll see you guys all in the next chat room. Bye.